Hi everybody. One more episode and I quit. I just want to give some thoughts and feelings about internalization. When you are being abused, they want to destroy you. At least mine did. There's all different kinds of abuse. All different kinds. Mine wanted to destroy me. And there is such a thing as psychological murder. I had a dream where she took a knife and she stabbed me again and again and again and again until I was lying in a pool of blood dead. That's my mother. I was lying in a pool of blood and I was 16 years old. And I see the girl as somebody different, not me. I see her as somebody different. She's my daughter. So my divine self, the God within me, is dreaming. My divine self. Raza, the God within me, is dreaming about Raza, the flesh. So I see this woman stabbing her until she's in a pool of blood dead. I go to the house of this woman. She's living in a trailer, and I knock on a door and I go, and I say to her, "You killed my daughter, but I forgive you." That is psychological murder. The stabs are wounds. When they stab you, they hurt you so badly you bleed. You bleed psychologically. If I had stayed with them indefinitely, they would have robbed me of all my self-worth, all my dignity. You can't stay with abusers. You can stay with them a certain amount of time, but at some point you have to separate. I certainly did. The way that they hurt you the most is when you internalize. Now, what do I mean by internalize? When you believe them, when you accept what they do to you. They made me feel ugly. I've had this complex. Obviously, I'm not completely, clean and clear 100% of all that was done to me. Not 100%, because maybe I'm 99% clear and clean. I mean, I'm an old lady. I'm 73 years old. So maybe I'm almost completely clear. But, even a tiny, tiny little bit might be left of what they did to me. But I had this feeling of ugliness. I would look in a mirror or I'd look at pictures of me and I'd say, I'm not ugly. But they made me feel ugly. It's like you're hypnotized. It's like the guy, I saw a hypnotic show, and the hypnotist told the guy he had 9 fingers. And he kept counting his fingers, and he says 9. And he counted them again, he says 9. And he counted them again, and he says 9. And we all laughed in the audience. We laughed. So it's like that. You look in a mirror, and you look at a picture, and you think, well, I'm not ugly. How could I have won this contest, Miss Americana, Best Body, twice, if I'm ugly? How could I have won Miss Nude Universe, most beautiful body in the world, in the nude? And how could I be ugly? And yet, oh, I'm looking at 9 fingers. And then, how could I have won Miss Body Beautiful USA twice and be ugly? And yet you go, I have 9 fingers. You see what I mean? It's not logical. It's the way they made you feel. It's the way, the things they said. The things they said made you feel unattractive. They want to break your confidence. They want to destroy you. That's internalization. And they destroy you by making you not love yourself or not have confidence, thinking that you only deserve evil, that you don't deserve love, you don't deserve good. So then that affects your whole life. That affects every day of your life. It affects your relationships. It affects who you choose for husband or wife, or girlfriend or boyfriend. It affects the way you apply for a job. It affects the way you feel about yourself when you have to ask for a raise, but you don't have the guts to ask for a raise because they made you feel so unworthy. internalization is how they destroy you. By making you, because then even when they're gone, you won't believe in yourself, you'll even hate yourself, and you'll do self-destructive things. Some people get on drugs. Some people do negative, destructive things to themselves when they're demoralized and abused. And they can't seem to pull out. They can't seem to pull out because the thoughts and feelings are inside. They're internalized and they're unconscious. And they don't even know they're hurting themselves. They don't even know. They don't even know they're hurting themselves. They're sabotaging themselves. The great Miss America, Marilyn Vanderveer, she said that this good psychology friend of hers noticed that she chose the wrong man to marry, and she had divorced him within 3 months, and the psychology expert said, something's wrong. You've done something to really hurt yourself. Something's wrong, deeply. And the psychology guy said, straight out, somehow he guessed it, he said, did your father ever come into your room at night? And she just broke down. Because this was the secret she was holding inside of her that made her feel unworthy, that made her feel that if anybody knew what she had lived through and what she had done with her father, which her father raped or forced her, of course, they wouldn't like her, they wouldn't love her. She would lose everything and everyone. She felt that. The shame, the fear, the shame, the fear. So she did some things to sabotage her own life without knowing. Well, she had a man who loved her waiting for her the whole time. But she didn't marry him. She married somebody that was not right for her. You see what I mean? So that's what you do. You get into bad relationships. You don't choose the right path because something inside of you is making you hurt yourself because they made you feel you need to be hurt. You deserve to be hurt. You don't deserve to be happy. You don't deserve to be loved. They make you hurt your... So, see, they don't want to just hurt you for a minute. They want to hurt you for the rest of your life. So they put these thoughts and feelings into you that are so evil and so negative. That's the effect. They don't always sit down and make a plan, but I think with my mother, she in a sense, she sat down and made a plan. Raza's got to be destroyed because she's not obeying me. She still loves her dad. I told her to hate him. I told her to call him the devil. I told her to run when he arrives, and instead she's embracing him. She's loving him. She's asking to sleep with him when he's here. She's caring about him, and she's defying me, so I hate her guts, and I am going to put the hate I have for him, I'm going to put it into her as well as him, and she's going to go down the tubes just as I want him to go down the tubes. So it was a concerted hate to destroy me, and she got the other people, certain people in the family, to work with her. Because she couldn't do it alone. I was too strong for her. I was too close to God, too religious, too spiritual, too virtuous. She needed help. She needed more demons. Well, see you next time.